Let's see.
Oh.
We're waiting on it to say that we're good with recording before we record.
It says recording on my end, so maybe we're live.
Recording on my end.
If we are recording, that's
Mine
amazing.
too.
Oh, now we are recording live on my end, which is even better. I want to welcome you all back to the Principals Podcast. Welcome to 2021, version 17 of our podcast with our amazing technology. I have some great hosts. That would be Mr. Bandera up in his corner. Do you want to say hello?
Good afternoon, good morning, whatever time you're watching it.
And I want to go over to Mr. Hyam, who's next door.
Good morning. Oh, no, it's afternoon. Sorry. Come on, Bandera. You got me all screwed up now.
Depends on when they're watching it.
That's true. That's true. Good morning, everyone.
On your end of this podcast, obviously we use various means of not only just Google, but we use audio podcasts that are called Anchor and Spotify. But when you're watching this, you're only able to see, we're able to see each other, but you're only able to see the person speaking. So you have no idea who's on the other side. So I want to introduce our guest. First, he is known to be in the old nurse's office as well as home base. Mr. Lichtinger, how are you?
Oh, I'm wonderful. I'm so honored to be here today, and I'm very happy to be broadcasting from my old nurse's office. This is just where I want to be every day, so I'm very happy to be here. Even more happy to be on the Principals Podcast. I'm honored.
Well, it's great to see you. We mentioned earlier it's wonderful to see your face and see the coronavirus beard. Since you're in the nurse's office, we might want to use that mask and put it on top of your head, so it kind of looks like you kind of look like.
Oh, geez.
Yep, I got a COVID. Here, we'll get it ready. I got a nice COVID head, and I got a nice COVID face.
Hey, Murray, I'm happy that we have new funds for the 21 year, and that Mr. L got his check from us, that he was willing to come on. So
Yep.
it's encouraging that the money's starting to flow, but just know, everyone, we're going to run out of money soon.
Right.
I did not hear about that check, but now that I know it's coming, I'm excited.
I once went golfing with a man who was known as the Dalai Lama, and he told me that Caddyshack, when you meet your maker, you will find complete and absolute protection. There's another person out there that we were really excited to welcome, and it's Josie Aitken. So, Josie, why don't you say hi so everyone can see your face?
Hi, my name is Josie Aitken. I'm a junior here at Chardon High School, and I was graciously honored to words. Oh my gosh, I'm struggling here. But the principal and Mr. L invited me on the podcast. I'm so excited to be here and talk about the cool initiative that we're working on. So it's going to be cool.
It's really exciting. So I know that Mr. Bandera and I, Mr. Hyam, we've heard through Mrs. Blackburn in our previous podcast about change makers, and you're on Executive Student Council this year. And tell us about, as we transition to February, what are some of the things that we're doing, in this pandemic time period where things are, distanced, but where we're actively engaged in the month?
So do you mean like activities that not just the student council is working on, or do you want the activities that the executive councils kind of come up with? Because there's a lot of activities going on in the high school at the moment, not just that executive council has started.
Well, this is your show today. So we're going to talk about whatever comes out, such as if you want to talk about change makers specifically and some of the cool activities that you're planning for student council too. That would be great.
Okay, well, I'll start out with the student council stuff because that's the kind of mainstream things that most students are already aware of, and some staff I noticed that aren't. On the week of February 8th, we're going to be doing a school-wide spirit week. Hopefully, if we're all in person, it'll take place. The talk right now is if that does not happen, then we'll push it back until we are all in person. But the days are going to be really fun and themed, and we're going to put up posters. And if you check social media, it's all over the place. So it's going to be fun, and we encourage everyone to participate. And then we're also thinking about doing a candygram, like candy drive, over the February 8th week. So you can probably buy a piece of candy and then we'll deliver it to someone special. It doesn't have to be someone you're in a relationship with. It can just be a best friend. It could be a teacher that you like. It doesn't matter. It's just, a nice way to spread positivity through the school. Those are just some of the initiatives that I know that we're working on, and I know there's some flowing through the seniors, and I know that the junior class, that's my class, oh my gosh. I know there's other classes that are working on things too. So we're working on a lot of stuff because, this year is a new year, and we're ready to put 2020 behind us and find all the positives that we can while the year is still continuing. Now that's just what student council is doing.
Josie, who had some of the ideas for the Spirit Week? Because I see, it's a little different. It's not like Well Dressed Wednesday or Twin Tuesday. There's some cool ones. Like, can you talk about one of your favorite ones on there?
Thursday. Thursday is the best one. Thursday.
I will agree with you.
What's
Yes.
Someone agreed with time today.
Do you know why Thursday's the best, Bandera?
Tell me why.
Go ahead, Josie. Tell them why Thursday's the best day.
Well, I think Thursday is the best day because it's something new. It's something fun. And I know that there's the stereotypical nerd and jock, but I think that this Thursday is going to be fun because you can dress as your favorite athlete. You can dress in Chardon gear, represent the school. I'm going to wear my Steelers jersey because I'm a Steelers fan. And I know some kids are going to wear some nerdy glasses and dress up. It's going to be really fun to see the different.
But it's specifically the math athlete. The math. Once again, we got math. Yes.
The mathlete? We're dressing like mathletes?
Mathletes or athletes.
Oh, I like that. That's a
like
brand new day. That's cool. I love that. It's exciting.
Bring your calculators,
Bring your calculator, everybody. Get stoked. The stoke
Can I
is
borrow one of those, Mr. Hine?
athletes.
I might have to borrow a calculator, Mr. Hine.
Oh, I got them. I'll go up to room 307. There's tons up there in 307.
So that's really exciting. And, to talk about spirit, our school has a lot of amazing spirit. And the thing that we talked about in our student council meeting is the fact that it's been like a year since we were able to really showcase it in the traditional fashion. But the spirit is still there, and it's seen, and we have to be unique in how we communicate, much like the podcast. But then when it comes back down to really the importance of unifying our community or unifying our school, you're doing something that was creative. First, that came out of your coloring that you did for the coronavirus and like therapeutic that turned into, it's February. It's an opportunity to not only focus on us as a community, it's Black History Month. And you're like, let's do something called Change Makers. Let's talk about that.
All right. So the idea kind of started in the Corona coloring team, and we were a group of kids making posters for the high school, and we hope to resume that when we're in 100 model again. But the Change Makers idea was formed because we noticed that there aren't as many school club activities going on, and there's just not. Normally, Chardon High School has like a brightness about it, and recently, because of the A and B schedule, you're missing your friends and you're missing the people that you see in the hallway. So it's just a little more gray. So we thought of an idea to a game. It's a scavenger hunt. That's what it is. And it's going to have pictures of people who've changed the world. And this month, because it's February, we decided to focus on people of color or people who have made an impact in the world of Black History Month. So for example, we're doing Harriet Tubman. She was a great activist, and she did great things. And then we even have people like, oh my gosh, I wish I could. Oh, her name is Hattie. I can't remember her last name, but she was.
We don't want to give them away because this is a scavenger hunt, so we don't want to spoil them.
That's true. But anyway, since I won't give it away, it's a really cool. We're gonna put up a billboard, and you're gonna be able to get a key, and on that key, it will explain like this person did this, this, and this, and then you will Google it, ask around, and try to find out who the person is. Once you figure it out, if you turn your key over, you'll see a map of where all the people are around the building. And so once you have your person, you'll go to where their picture is in the high school, and each individual poster will have a famous quote by the person. And each quote will have maybe an underlined word or an underlined letter that you'll have to write down. And so at the very end, once you've recorded all these people and all their famous quotes, you'll have a really unique phrase spelled out, and then you turn it in. So it's a scavenger hunt, but it's a mix of things. So you're not only just doing the fun of it, you're learning about these important people and the impacts they've made. And if you're not participating in the scavenger hunt, the people's faces will still be hung up all around the hallway, and they'll have their quotes. So anyone can see them. It's going to be really cool.
That's really cool. Are we able to, could the principals or, whoever wants to kind of tweet these out too, so our Blue Model students can participate as well?
Oh yeah, of course. If the Blue Model students want to, we can create an activity that they can do online, much like the scavenger hunt in real life. It's not that hard, and it's inclusive for everyone. Even if staff want to participate, they can. Anyone can do it. Maybe in their free time before school, before class, if they see someone in the hallway that they didn't record on their key before, they can write it down, maybe during topper time if they get permission, or at the end of the day, if they're waiting for their bus or their parents, they can look around and just try to find a person on their scavenger hunt. So it's inclusive for everyone. And I think the Blue Model kids, I think there's a real possibility that we could work it in there and everyone can do it.
Outstanding. I love this idea.
This idea was entirely student generated. We've just kind of, Mrs. Blackburn, myself, we've helped and facilitated, spread the word. But this really came from Josie and other students talking about that piece of beautifying our shared community space. It's a different environment up at the school this year. And we know that February is a significant time for all of us. And this is just to speak to the community piece of it. Josie has shared this out with other teachers. And yes, because of February, we have kind of as a jumping off point are using Black History Month, but Black history is American history. We're not limited to just that. And we've opened it up to other teachers. I know the English department, because they went a little crazy with sharing it, but other departments are sharing it. Everybody can be involved in it. And Josie has just really kind of spearheaded this whole thing to really make change in her own community. It's a little bit meta. She's making change as we emphasize that in our core values of our community and sharing that.
I wanted there to be an activity in the high school that was fun and was not something that you had to do for a class. So it's not necessarily something that needs to be prioritized. So you don't have to feel pressured to do it. It's something relaxing, something you can do for fun. And it's a great takeaway. You're going to learn about some amazing people and you're going to see how they affected everyone else's lives around them. And I think once you do the scavenger hunt and you see all these different people compared to one another, it's going to enhance how you think about the world and how maybe you yourself can change it. And that's why I think it's going to be so important for students, especially this year, to see that even though there's a national pandemic going on, just like many of the people that are going to be hung up on the posters, they can find a way to change the world and they can do great things, because a lot of our applicants they come from harsh backgrounds or they improved their situations. That's why they're change makers.
Positive change. Josie, you're so well.
And Josie, this is going to start on February 1st, right?
Actually, we're thinking of pushing it back to the next week just so that we can get the word out just a little more so that people are included, because we don't want the scavenger hunt to last more than 2 weeks, because we feel like once it's dragged out, no one's going to participate. So we're going to make it probably from February 8th through that week and then the next week. And so people can participate. And once they finish it, we're going to try to find either a teacher they can submit them to, or we're thinking about just putting them up where you find your key slips. So everyone can do it, and it's going to be really cool.
I love it.
And we should be at the 100% model, hopefully, if all goes well at that point. So you'll have full participation.
Yeah, exactly.
Mr. Heim, do you have any specific questions in regards to that or any feedback you want to give? Because Josie's a rock star in our school community. And, I think you're doing such a wonderful job on this podcast, just being you, and you are so genuine at being yourself and really are so kind. So I appreciate that. Mr. Heim, do you have any questions?
Just a compliment for Josie. A lot of people bring a lot of smiles to our face, but I think Josie's in the top 3 of all students in the building. Whenever I see her, it just brightens my day. She doesn't necessarily have to say something, but she just has this aura of bringing positivity to the building and to myself. So Josie, I want to thank you for everything you're doing. You're not allowing little roadblocks to get in your way, but along that process, you're including others in this process, and it's just exciting to see. So thank you for all your great work.
So
Mr. Hyam, thank you so much. That means, oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Bandera.
No,
I cut
you
you
go
off.
ahead. It's just your time to shine.
I was just going to say that. I was just going to say thank you, Mr. Hyam, for those kind words. It really means a lot. Yeah, this project was started because I know a lot of people who might not be as confident as I am have ideas for the high school. And I know that some people are struggling on the inside, and you can't exactly see that. And so hopefully this project can go February, and it's something that everyone can do. So that way it's just something to bring up morale in the high school for everybody. And it's, yeah.
Let's focus on the positive for a bit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, focus on the positive.
Exactly.
You know, it's so great and mirroring everything that we stand for, and relates back to something I wrote this morning. It's not what you do, it's why you do it. And I think you're really demonstrating why you're doing something, and you're showing us how we can do it by what you are doing. So you're working from the inside out, and that is truly genuine, and it's purposeful and intentional. So again, you and your crew and all the adults that are around you, you are becoming like that change maker by your actions. So we appreciate that.
I was going to say there's probably going to be a picture of Josie hanging on some wall somewhere eventually for being a change maker.
That's the goal, Oh yeah, I just need my statue hung up in the middle of the square, Oh yeah.
See, and that's the best thing about Josie is she has a little of that smart blank about her that she could just, stay true to her passions and goals. And I just love it about her. I love it. Thank you, Josie, for being you.
So since we have Mr. L's here, and so Josie, you can participate in this also. We're going to transition a little bit. And again, what I want you to do is think here in the next few minutes of someone that you want to recognize as something that a shout out for something you saw this week, or someone you want to say, you know what, they need to pick me up and I want to really recognize them. But we're going to transition to Mr. L. For all of our listeners out there, he is the guy that you will see during the fall play that is laughing before the punchline. And it's the best part of it. He works so hard to make our fall plays so unique, so intentional, and our actors are extraordinary as they transition throughout the spring musical. But the pandemic allowed for all of us to be creative, and he and his crew of not only the actors, but also the directors and all the makeup and costumes and props and lights and technical difficulties of putting on a created fall play in a creative way. They have been working for several months to do something unique. And I'm going to give him the spotlight to talk about that whole process of where we are in the fall winter movie.
Yeah. Oh, thank you, Mr. Murray, for those kind words. Yes, you've heard my canned laughter. That's not actually me. I actually record it. So that's good. I'm glad that it's good. No, we pivoted this year, just as everyone has had to pivot. Our CHS drama family, Josie is a member of it on the props crew. We decided to do something that has never been done before. I don't know if it's ever been done by any high school. I said we have some talented students. We have all these students. They can build, they can do costumes, they can make props. We can make a movie. Sure, easy as pie. So at the end of September, starting in October, we started casting. We started designing. I wrote it. Sorry. I wrote the reason I wrote an original screenplay for our school, for our group, because typically we license a play every year. And when you license a play, you're paying for royalties, it's got to get done. We figured this year I'm going to write something so we can be entirely creative. We can change it as we want. And we've been working on this thing since October. It has gone through a full pre-production process. We have gone through storyboards. We made designs of prototypes for props. And now we are at a point in which we have a cast of about 30 people and crew members of about numbering near 50 to 60 students who have been working in safety, in isolation, working in crews. And we are now currently filming a short film. It's kind of, you could think of it kind of as almost an episode of The Twilight Zone with a bit of a humor to it. It is a sci-fi story about communication. And we have been we did for the first semester was all building sets, putting together costumes, rehearsing. Now we have been over the last couple of weeks filming this short film. We've probably logged, I don't know. We've filmed lots of footage. We're still putting it together, and it's pretty exciting because starting after next week, we're going to be editing together a short original film produced by CHS Drama. It is insane. I have learned why most high schools don't do a high school movie, but we've done one. So so you're going to see this film coming up fairly soon. We have footage in the can. Look for a trailer, look for a website that has images of all of our pre-productions. It's kind of like, if you've ever seen a behind the scenes featurette about the making of a movie, that's kind of what we're living right now. Josie is nodding along. They have just inhabited and created a world. We've done something very unique that we will probably never do again. We only did it because of COVID. It has been difficult because of COVID, but now we're going to finish something that's pretty special as a result of COVID. So, that's my spiel. You can ask me more mysterious questions if you want.
I'm excited for it. I mean, one of the things I love about our play and our musical we do every year is how, the talent of our students, the talent of our student actors. But the kind of cool thing about this is I always hate the end of the plays because they're over and you don't get to see it anymore. And this is something that'll live on for history. So, whether it's, I know it's a lot of work and a lot of time, but this year it'll be cool to watch this in 10 years from now and see this and kind of remember, oh yeah, that was that year. Yep.
It has been a lot of work, but I honestly couldn't think of doing anything else. I think our drama program, our drama family is so talented, so dedicated. I couldn't imagine another group of people pulling this off, and by golly, they're doing it. So thank you for the support from everybody, and thank you for I hope and we're going to have something for you in the next month. Get excited.
Any more specific details on it? Like, is there going to be a premiere? Is there going to be some special piece that you're going to have to log into to see, or how's that going to work?
So the short film will, and we're putting this together. We want to have both it'll all be based on what is safe, but we will do a premiere rather virtually, or we'd love to do it in person if we could, if it's safe, on the big screen. But if it's a virtual premiere, and regardless, this film is going to premiere on YouTube for sure. We are putting together a Chardon Drama YouTube channel, and we would love for it to premiere on GTV once it's actually finished. So
that will not be a problem.
Yeah, so try to have an actual television premiere in addition to being a short film on YouTube that you can go watch. We're also pivoting. This is the year for pivoting. We cannot do a typical musical like we have done in the past, so we are going to be doing a video version of a review of that. So we've been super busy during COVID. We have not stopped other than the times when we've had to stop for shutdown or quarantine. And we learned a whole bunch of new skills this year. So COVID has really been an adventure for our drama program.
That's extraordinary. And as you're aware, I have a little bit of technical background. But when it comes to like the premiere, we have the ability to upload to Boxcast. And if you wanted to get a ticket revenue sale for this so that you can continue to build the program because you used resources for this without really having any income, we can consider Boxcast with a ticket price. And certainly it can go into YouTube in this in most similar way, but we have a board approved means to do that. But those are things we can talk about certainly later. But what I really would love is like Happy Madison Productions, where that has that opening where it's like Adam Sandler. We need a Brandon Lichtinger open where whatever the design feature is, it's your laugh that goes over. Kind of like they used to do with Big Chuck and Little John, where you knew that laugh was coming.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
Company.
Well, it's got to be our CHS production company. So that's the next. So now that we actually have enough of a movie done that it's going to actually premiere, we have to think about that. What is our, there's going to be every name on here is going to be in the credits, which is pretty exciting. And we're going to have the production. I mean, we're in uncharted territory, but it's very exciting uncharted territory. So it's pretty cool.
Mr. Murray should reserve a drive-in theater.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, why not? Why not? We get fireworks too. Yeah, we have a lot that we will be probably talking about next week with on our podcast. No specific guests, but I believe that Mr. Bandera, myself, Mr. Heim, we need to talk about potentially what the return to school is, making sure that it is done so in a safe manner, much like we did from September 1st all the way to November 6th was our last day that we were 100%. Just asking in general.
Mrs. Hoffman and us.
We should have Mrs. Hoffman. Yes, she has been amazing, and I think that would be a phenomenal. We've already given her shout outs, but let's give her a communal shout out there for all of her work. She's consistently in all of our offices. For some people that when she walks into the room, you think she's the Grim Reaper because you're like, oh my gosh, she's going to quarantine me. But she is so kind and works so hard and does such a great job. So let's getting to that time of shout outs. All of us give out some shout outs, people that you have observed this week that did something amazing, or someone that you want to give me a pick me up. Because all 5 of our moms are watching this today with our annual viewers.
Quality quantity.
Let's begin with ladies first.
All right. I hope that means me. So I actually have a few shout outs because I watch your podcast and I know you shout people out at the end. Mr. L, Miss Blackburn, Mr. Sini, Mr. Herner, they've all been huge helpers with the change makers. The English department, a lot of them submitted people for the change makers that we didn't even think of, so that was awesome. But I do have one person in particular that I would really like to shout out, and that's Madame Dalton. She's the French teacher here at Chardon High School, and the reason I'm shouting her out is because French is a hard class to learn, and it's even harder when you're learning it half virtual, half in class, and your class is split. But she's made it fun, and she discusses with us next year, and she talks about how good we're doing, and she lets us work, and it's just she's so amazing, and she's gone all out for us. Even in props crew, she's doing whatever she can to keep us happy and just keep the mood up there. And so I wanted to shout her out because she's amazing.
Outstanding.
Yes. And Madame is also involved. She's also supervises our props crew for the fall winter movie. So a theme emerges.
Mr. L, who would you like to give a shout out to?
I'm going to shout out Mrs. Tina Lacasse. She has, we've come back and we have the triple threat of a new semester, snowstorms, and COVID quarantines. And between the 3 of those things, I feel like I'm always coming to her and talking, she's always on the phone. She's figuring out in the world of the Infinite Campus who is where they are supposed to be. And, she's always smiling. She's always dealing with it. And I appreciate her for just kind of, having to tackle a monster that I think would have many arms and many legs and be very difficult to deal with. So I think she's very heroic. And I think she's been battling that hydra of the attendance all year very well, but particularly in this wintertime. So thank you, Mrs. Lacasse.
Good call. I'll go jump in next if that's okay. I'm gonna shout out two people, or kind of a handful of people. I know there's a lot of people putting this on, but the teachers kind of found out this week that we're lucky enough to next week to have the opportunity for the COVID-19 vaccine. And that's going to be scheduled for next Friday, which is why we have our virtual day next Friday. And so I would like to shout out, Dr. Hanlon and Dr. Klein. They've done a really big job advocating for our staff to get that. And then just the behind the scenes work that they're doing this week to coordinate, close to 300 people being vaccinated in a 1 day time frame. It takes a lot of work to do that. So I appreciate their efforts, and another step they're trying to do to help our staff, stay safe this year.
No doubt. This is.
I would take the moment to shout out Miss Blackburn. Miss Blackburn does amazing work on a daily basis, but it seems like she's even more busy and working with even more students. And I also see her talking with staff and just kind of making sure that, like Josie said earlier, it's about that inside piece that we sometimes don't see. And she's that change maker with the people working in that have some inside things that they want to talk about. So Miss Blackburn, just amazing person, and we all know that, but the work she's doing right now is just even better than ever.
Miss Blackburn is Batman. I'm convinced.
You know what? I think she's a little happier than Batman, though.
This is true, yes.
Smiles a little more often.
I would love her to do that Lego Batman voice. It would be amazing if she used that.
I think if you put up pictures of Miss Blackburn as Batman around the school, that would beautify our schools. I know she
I want to give a shout out and thank you for leaving some people for me. And I'm going to do it in two parts. One, our department chairs. This week we worked on talking about our program of studies, and with all the things they're doing, they were aligning 21, 22, what it would look like, looking at slides, adjusting slides, cleaning things up, looking at our program of studies, and then that includes everybody that's in the department, including our counselors. And then specifically a person, Mark Avery, who basically this week, with all the different changes in weather, he was out there with a snowblower like a ninja, and we haven't had our sidewalks this clean in a long time. He just puts attention to detail in all of his things, and not to say that no one else does, but because he's new, I want to give him a shout out. Did a phenomenal job this week, and I know that that's just how he works. Mm-hmm. So we are very blessed with some amazing family and friends here at Chardon High School, including those guests today. I want to thank Mr. Lichtinger for joining us, Josie Aitken for being a rock star. Again, we will come together again next Friday for our podcast, talking about maybe the potential return to 100%. But in the meantime, give peace, show love.
Out.
Thank you.
This was wonderful. Thank you.
Bye.